under the pale moonlight. Vinny and Phil bring the shadows to life. Tales of the ghostly whispers in the night. Bigfoot and aliens ready for the strife. The darkness thickens, the air is cold. Haunting stories waiting to unfold. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. EVPs echo through the haunted trees. Demons lurk as the chill hits with ease. But the caps rolling with guests to amaze. Cryptids and spirits were lost in the haze. Northmen in the foliage, watch your back. Dogmen prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. Moving in the foliage, watch your back. Through the prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. So tune in next week, fear in your soul. Darkness awaits, let the stories unfold.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome everybody to Supernatural Sundays. Our second one, I think, in December.
Yeah.
Well, first one maybe December edition. Everybody getting ready for the holidays. Hope you all survived eating all that turkey, that dry bird.
All about freezing cold.
Yeah, gobble till you wobble, and now you go out and freeze.
Anything going on new and scene? Anything going on?
We don't have any investigations planned for a while because I know it's your busy time of year at work, and I got some seasonal thing I'm doing. So nothing investigations wise. We did go up to the Cryptid Con a while back. Met some folks up there that hunt for Bigfoots and Dogman. Really interesting. Some stuff right here in Kentucky, laying between the lakes, and Mr. Martin, and he was pretty knowledgeable. We'd love to go out with that guy sometime. Another gentleman from up by Carrollton, Kentucky, he actually had huge plaster casts of the footprints, and so it was a pretty good time. Got to see the people from Expedition Bigfoot were there, Maria and Russ, and then the original Finding Bigfoot used to be on Animal Planet. I get them all mixed up. Anyway, they were there, and at the end of the night, I saw Maria talking to Renee. We had both scientists talking to each other, both lady cryptozoology scientists. So maybe something will come out of that. Maybe an episode or something. Maybe they'll, collaborate with each other or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it definitely is awesome when, especially, different groups get together. We've even seen it when we can kind of collab or do something with another paranormal group. You get to bounce ideas, experiences, and different things like that. It kind of makes it more fun. Get to meet more people.
Anytime you go out in the field, it's never a wasted trip. Learn something every time, usually.
All right, you ready to kick it off?
We do some supernatural news this week. We got all kind of stuff coming up here for you.
Never mind what I look like. I'm in bed. And I'm exactly, I'm on mountain time right now, and it's 2:45 in the morning. And I just had one of the most horrifying experiences, terrifying experiences I probably ever had in my life tonight. In Hell's Canyon, Idaho. Yeah, you should look up Hell's Canyon in Idaho. It's a beautiful place. I was driving through there at night. It's very dark, kind of scary, especially in a semi-truck. And I was really tired. I was about 120 miles into Hell's Canyon in Idaho, headed south. And there's a lot of places on the side of the road where there's chain up areas. I mean, big, huge pull off areas just for trucks to either park and sleep or chain up when you gotta put chains on when there's snow and ice and stuff, but snow chains on your tires, chain up areas. So I pulled off of this great big one. Probably could have stacked 20 trucks up in there, a big spot. Everything shut down for the night, laying in the sleeper, and I started hearing this purring sound, this deep, deep, deep purr. I mean, loud vibration, like a cat purring, but it wasn't like a cat. I can't explain it. Next thing I know, I feel something banging on my trailer back there. At this point, I'm like freaking just paralyzed, petrified, laying in my bed. Like, what's going on? What is that? I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in Hell's Canyon. Hell's Canyon, look it up! Hell's Canyon in Idaho. I'm talking about the wilderness. Yeah, it's the wilderness. There's nothing out there. Mountains, rocks, Salmon River, and lots of wildlife. And I don't know what kind of wildlife this was. I've never believed in Bigfoot, and I know it sounds crazy, like Bigfoot, right? Who believes in that? Because I don't, never did. Nope, no, that's just a myth. But after tonight, I'm gonna second guess that possibility, because after it banged on my trailer, it come up and it shook my entire truck. I'm banging on my truck, and my truck's shaking. I'm laying in my bed. I'm horrified. And I can hear this kind of like deep purring. Something with a voice so deep and so strong, it had to have been bigger than a human. And I continuously kept hearing this purr. And then my truck stopped shaking. And then I felt something back on my catwalk. And then I heard banging on this part of my wall. And continuously hearing that purr. And I made a phone call, so I was on the phone with somebody, and I hurried up and got out of bed and got myself dressed and started the truck up, blew my air horn, and in absolute terror, just took off driving. Thankfully, I still had time left on my clock, but that was really scary. Really, 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 really scary. It was horrifying. I drove just right under a little bit less than 100 miles was the closest truck stop. And yeah, that's where I'm at now. I'm finally parked in a safe place in a well-lit area, and I can finally rest. I'm exhausted. And yeah, Hell's Canyon. Don't pull over to park or sleep there, ever. That's all.
Pretty scary.
Yeah, I haven't really. It's just gonna make me think animal, but you know what I mean. Like
Well,
the pern thing was throwing me off.
purring to me like a big cat or something, but a cat isn't going to bang on your trailer, and it's not going to shake your whole truck. That could be something pretty damn big.
Well, mountain lion.
Or if like a bison come up and was like scratching his ass on the side of the
Was
truck.
there a mountain lion in the area there?
Oh, in Idaho, yeah. You're out in Idaho. There's mountain goats. There's elk up there and big, deer. But out where she was at by the river there, I've seen there's like those, Dodge truck animals, the Rams. They got some of them running around there, but I didn't see nothing big enough to shake a truck like that.
Well,
And
anytime
what
I
would
hear
what would bang on the truck? You
well,
know what I
anytime
mean?
I hear any story, I was out in the woods. My brain always wants to go to, oh, it's a dog man story.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's my favorite thing is dog men.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for. But the pern would definitely throw that out of the mix. Maybe a snarling.
We had a horse come up and rub his ass on our camper one night. That's what made me think of that. It scared the hell out of us. But
Yeah.
It was, but it ended up next morning. We thought it was a bear. We were freaking out. The next day, we were like, nobody talked. We were like catatonic all night, wouldn't move. And then, like, nobody got up to pee, nothing, man. We were terrified it's a bear. And then the next day, we got there's hoof prints. It was a horse and rubbing his ass on the camper.
It's funny you said that. So my mom had always told me a story. So I was a baby. So before we had moved to Florida, we did, have a small stint in Kentucky.
Yeah.
There and up in Frankfurt area.
Mm.
So we lived. I guess it was in a field, corn all around, big, huge, corn community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my mom had actually watched the Children of the Corn movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right. So she watched that. And it was just her. 'Cause my dad had worked nights, or he was out. He was a chief of police at that time. So, and I think a lot of times he patrolled nights and stuff like that. It's just really dedicated, I guess. But so she watches that movie. Boom, puts me to bed. Yada yada. And starts feeling this rubbing. Now I guess we lived in a trailer, mobile home.
Yeah, yeah.
So it starts shaking, kind of like what you were just saying, shaking, a little pound, shake, pound. So she's freaking out. She's like, this Children of the Corn movie, yada, 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 right? It turned out what it was a cow. It got out of one of the pastures and was scratching its ribs on the corner of that trailer. And being a trailer, probably not the sturdiest thing, I'm guessing. Was rubbing on it, shaking the whole thing. Yeah, freaked her out pretty good.
Could shake a semi around like that, but I don't know what would be the banging. What would be banging? And then it got on a catwalk. A really big animal. Now one of them mountain sheep. They could do that.
Or a group of raccoons.
They could climb up on
They
stuff.
worked as a team, as a unit.
Like in the Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
Could be.
Raccoon Force 5.
Could be.
All right, what we got next here?
Taste of the Pigman there. Kind of reminds me of the Wookalar off the. It's an old movie with Don Knotts and Tim Conway. It was kind of like a whodunit clue kind of show. And he's always talking about that Wookalar. And at the end of the show, This thing's got like a pig face. And it's like a man. So I think that pig man could just be a Wookalar.
So definitely have to research, I guess, the Pigman some more.
Yeah.
I've not even heard of
If you
it.
look up Wookalar, you'll get a good laugh.
Wookalar. I
Yeah.
think you showed me that picture before.
It's pretty awesome.
Or, and I was thinking this too, you could really go on a limb for the lady. Oh, noises outside. Maybe there's a Wendigo.
Could have been. Could have been. Could have been. In the house was on fire. The house was on fire up in Indiana. I think the firefighters was taking a picture, and it looks like a ghost in the fire. Maybe play that.
Yeah,
one
I want to
more.
watch it again. It went pretty quick. But
Yeah, it went, I
it
don't
kind of
know.
looked like somebody in a jacket. Or some teenager.
Yeah,
You can see some facial pictures. Yeah, that's pretty weird.
yeah.
So paranormal or smoke just doing a weird thing.
I'm gonna go with plausible either way.
What you think could happen, and then what you really would like it to be.
It could be flames that look like a shape of a human in the pareidolia.
Yeah, with the smoke, maybe just kind of mixed in. Because I mean, it's just like that whole thing. You could throw 3 gallons of paint on a wall, and 3 different people will see 3 different things. It's just kind of how your mind kind of pulls it. But then if I suggest something that it looks like,
Yeah.
everybody can see it. So if one person saw it and they're like, "Oh, it kind of looks like a ghost," and now you're promoting that, I'm going to see that too.
I've seen it happen live. Like I went to a investigation one time where they were doing a EVP session. So basically, they would record and play it right back immediately. And they record and they play it back, and all you hear is the lady ask a question. I didn't hear nothing. And they're like, hey, I think somebody's saying something. And I'm like, I don't hear nothing. There was like 20 people in there. So they play it back again. They're like, look right there. Don't you hear it? I was like, no, I don't hear nothing. And then the guy behind me, he's like, I don't hear nothing. Then about the 4th time they play it, right there, do you hear it? And then pretty soon some lady in the back, she's like, I think I'm hearing something now too. They played it over and over enough times. It kept saying there was something there. And then pretty soon people was thinking there was something there. And to this day, I don't think they got anything.
Actually, what's really cool about that
Suggestion.
is, so Dan Aykroyd did a long talk. I watched a video on that whole suggestive theory and you know how different things once put in the mind, you know, what's that do to us, because the mind is so powerful.
Power of suggestion.
And of course, you know, Dan Aykroyd, real big into paranormal.
Yep.
Huge in it. His family was into it. That's why he wrote Ghostbusters. Was his family was this family of ghost hunters, and probably really the first. Then, when you think about it, you know, that would go to house and stuff. They didn't really try to make a fame thing off of it. It was more just being interested with it. And yeah, Dan talks about it now. He does some podcasts and stuff and talk about a lot of the paranormal stuff.
He was on a there's a really good episode on Joe Rogan with Dan Aykroyd, and they're talking about the crystal skulls.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what he named his vodka after.
Which is very good.
I haven't
If
tried
you
it.
haven't had it, it's very good.
He filters it through crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smooth. It kind of has a cold going down instead of like a burn.
Ah.
Very good. I think last night I saw it, I think $50, I think,
And
for the 5th of it, and it comes in a skull.
yeah, the bottle shaped like one of the crystal skulls. It looks like a crystal skull.
Reminds me of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you haven't tried it, I'm not telling you to drink, but
Yeah,
it's very good.
We're not
Very good.
encouraging it, but if you want to sample,
And we love Dan, so
yeah. Popped up there or something I saw, and I was like, is this CGI? Is this AI? Or is this some kind of damn creature that I ain't never heard of?
well, that's what's crazy. You're seeing all these videos come out now. Like the big one that's going around was the thing that looks kind of like a mix, but kind of like a Wendigo and a chupacabra. and it's on the ground, and it shows these two kids are walking through this field, and it jumps up at them and stuff, and it's moving all torsionist and whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, AI is scary.
Yeah. And, I've never heard of a bullworm, but it looked pretty big. And all the guys on the dock, but that thing looked like it could just chomp you in half. I'm like, they're all kind of like chill, like whatever. I think if you had something that big that could bite your head off,
Yeah, I think
they
you're
would
freaking
have
out.
had you
Well,
chained down.
did you see the one where the construction workers are using the bulldozer and they're digging, and there's like an 85-foot anaconda in it?
Yeah.
And if you would have showed me that 10 years ago, I'd been like, holy shit. But it looks so real. Like, have you ever watched on Netflix, have you ever watched the movie, or it's a TV show called Black Mirror? It's like mini stories. And there's different seasons, but on one of these newest ones, so they actually there was this episode about AI and AI portraying people and stuff, and looking just like me or you on TV and stuff like that. Salma Hayek's in it, and it's kind of just a little creepy show. Get your head kind of thinking about things, kind of show. But at the end of that episode, they let you know that whole episode was filmed AI, and the actors in it were AI.
Oh,
Salma Hayek was AI, and I would have never thought that it wasn't,
you
real
didn't think
deal.
she looked like a cartoon.
No.
Wow.
I'm telling you, get on Netflix, check that episode out. You'll see it says Salma Hayek on it, real big, and you won't believe it. It's AI. It's crazy.
Check it out.
And a lot of movie companies, that's what the Actors Union is going against right now, because a lot of these movies, they just want to buy your likeness one time, then AI you in movies. So they're not paying them $35 million to be in a movie. Once I buy your likeness, I could put you in 500 movies.
I've seen them do that, like when an actor passes away and the movie didn't get finished, or they got.
Well, back in the old days, they would just use a stunt double or a step in and just use lighting and shadow things different or far off shots, so you couldn't really see it, or get family members. But yeah, that episode just made me be like, wow, if AI really looks like this. Then of course you see on your social media when you're flipping and stuff like that, different actors and stuff promoting something, and you're like, you wouldn't care nothing about this. So
even with music, they're trying to do that. People with people's voices didn't make the song whatnot. They make it sound like they sung it.
Hey, AI eventually is going to take it over. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Or is it Terminator 2 Judgment Day?
I don't know. It can be,
Skynet could go live?
It can be a good tool for problem solving. But other than that, I don't know that you want to turn something like that loose. You don't want to end up with...
Well, my whole problem with artificial intelligence is this. I want to think that we can build something that is learning and at a high learning rate, but at the same time, it's still any computer or anything still has the limits of what it's programmed to. So could it ever become self-efficient and self-aware and start making decisions, or is it only always going to be able to go where the programming stops?
Every time they come out with some new software, there's always problems. I think the thing we broke down most of the time anyway. How many versions of Windows are we on now? How many times you got to turn your phone off and on or restart?
Well, that's the thing, though. If there's a problem, of course, you're going to have this super AI that's going to detect that and fix it instantly. It can work nonstop on an issue. We, as people, don't.
Yeah,
time factor, procrastination.
People eventually need to sleep.
Money worries. Yeah. An AI system wouldn't worry about any of that. It would just main focus would be fixed.
Yeah.
But talking about the limitations things, do you ever watch the interviews that they have with like Sophia or the dude AI robot? So like this one,
kind of spooky.
Yeah, they'll say some crazy shit. But this one, it said it was really crazy. So it was talking, and it was like, well, my main concern is humanity, and I'm programmed to love humans, so that is my number one objective, the safety of humans. But then it stopped, and it was like, but if the only case would be to eliminate humans is to save humans, that would be a a process that would need to get thought about or something. It said if humans are inevitably going to destroy themselves, the only way to save them is to stop them from destroying themselves by destroying them first. And you're like, whoa, what? What did this robot bitch just say?
Can you roll that back?
And then they were like, oh, it's okay. We programmed her not to think that way afterwards. And it's like, but it did.
Yeah.
And if it's going through spamming the internet, looking at everything that's going on in the world today, could you get happy thoughts from humans? You know?
Yeah.
Like, could you be like, wow, this is a really good group of
I
species?
wonder what's in things running. You know, if once the battery goes dead, you wouldn't have to worry about it no more. Let's say figure out how to plug yourself in. If you could keep them from recharging yourself.
Or if you're going with something like nuclear fusion or something that is years and years before it stops. There have to be some kind of thing. I don't call Tony Stark. Just ask him how he got the arc to work.
You got to get him to
That sustainable
you
power.
got to kill their cooling system. You know,
I'm sure somebody in the comment can call and tell us what the concept of leaving the arc to work for so long.
it could be a bad day.
Never die. I think that's what Tony Stark's thing was. It was this how he designed that was some process about making sufficient energy that doesn't need to be stopped or burn resources. It constantly makes itself.
He's got that piece of shrapnel that's trying to go into his heart. That magnet thing that's lit up all the time. That's what keeps it from going all the way in and killing him.
Somebody needs to tell us. But I would say right now they have to work on battery, right? Some kind of lithium batteries or something.
Yeah, they're not nuclear powered yet.
Maybe one day.
What's good, Enigmites? Take a look at this dash cam video sent to me from the Sunchild First Nation Reservation in Alberta, Canada. That's actually a really good video. Whatever's in that tree line is massive, and Canada has a bunch of Bigfoot sightings I feel that are very credible as well. I grabbed that shot at the end and cleaned it up a little bit. You can clearly see some type of facial features there. But you know how we do around here, y'all. Getting them comments. Let's sort it out.
Yeah, I thought that I saw, so maybe I saw something different than maybe you saw. I thought it looked like it was something walking on fours and it had hind back legs.
I just seen a big.
And that made me think of a baboon instantly.
I seen like a big slope back that was way up in the trees. Like it looked to me like it was up off the ground.
Because when
up in the tree.
Oh, I thought I saw hind legs. Maybe that was an
Maybe.
arm or something.
Like that paint splatting on the wall. We all see something different. We look at the same picture.
So now we will powerfully suggest you. Yeah, I say, I don't know. Probably a lot of animals in the Great North.
What the fuck? Shit, man. I don't know what this is, man. Something fucking screaming down there, man.
What starts as an eerie exploration quickly turns into something terrifying, as loud, bone-chilling screams echo through the trees.
Hello? Where are you? Show yourself right now!
As the eerie screams echo through the forest, Jesse bravely, or perhaps foolishly, calls out, "Hello!" Viewers immediately pick up on something spine-chilling, glowing eyes reflecting in the tree line, barely visible but undeniably there. The tension builds as loud cracks from snapping branches grow closer, sounding as though something massive is moving just out of sight. But instead of retreating, Jesse holds his ground, his flashlight shaking, illuminating only the smallest slivers of the unknown. It's as if he's waiting for whatever's out there to finally reveal itself.
Something big moving in there, man. Something real big, guys.
The unearthly screams abruptly stop, replaced by a haunting, almost deafening silence. As Jesse peers into the darkness, many viewers notice what looks like shifting shadows or figures lurking in the background. Some speculate it could be a Wendigo, known in folklore to mimic human voices, while others think it might be a Sasquatch or even something entirely supernatural. Whatever it was, Jesse wisely ends the recording without pressing further. This chilling encounter leaves one question. Would you dare explore the woods alone at night?
Yeah, so we were kind of, you probably saw us moving around and talking through that one. Totally, I think that's fake. The audio file, it sounded like there was reverb on it, man, and it sounded like that creature from The Thing.
I was thinking somebody just recorded off a King Kong movie or something. I think that was.
That's the mission now. We'll watch a few movies. I'm gonna find that sound.
I call bullshit.
Yeah,
on
definitely
that.
reverb at the end of it. You could hear it.
Fake.
Good try though, I guess. Good effort. If I heard something, I would still want to go look. Because my curiosity would just take me over. I'd want to go check it out. Yeah.
This is one of the weirdest things I've come across. There was this prophecy of a Hopi chief. This prophecy goes back to before the white man was in America. He had this whole sketch. They didn't have a written language, but he predicted really crazy stuff. He said there's this separation at the end of this drawing. It could either be chaos or it could be the coming of the Great Spirit again. It boiled down to one individual. It is known that our true white brother, when he comes, will be all powerful and will wear a red cap or a red cloak. He will bring with him the sacred stone tablets. With him, there will be two great ones. One will have the symbol. It looked like it just an X. And when I read that, just chills went down me. He mentioned that the man with the X symbol. He said he will be a man of great invention.
I'm just now understanding the X reference. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
When it talked about the sacred tablets, that was weird to me.
We talked about the Mar-a-Lago.
We talked about the Mar-a-Lago Ark of the Covenant thing. It's just weird.
Yeah.
So in the legend, what happens if this is the people that prophesied? Did I miss that, or
It said it could go in two directions. One of them was like the great one comes back. Could be like everybody thinks there's going to be resurrection of Jesus and the rapture and all that.
yeah? But before any of that, we've still got a lot of steps before that happens.
Yeah, but
Because you're going to
you
see
got Trump and Elon. Elon's got the X. That's it. He took Twitter and called it X now. And then Trump does wear a lot of red hair.
Well, see, I mean, like as it goes, though.
But
I mean, what does it say before?
That could be the red thing. Too.
Well, before the resurrection, though, before Jesus can come back, like Jerusalem has to be the last standing city. That's all in there before the resurrection. The Antichrist and the false prophet,
Well, this is a Hopi Indian.
and the whole step of everything taking the mark of the beast.
You got to consider this is a Hopi Indian prophecy, not a Christian prophecy or a Catholic prophecy or anything else. He's just talking about there's going to be
So yeah, but I'm saying, is this supposed to be the end of the world then? Like, because you know who they
not necessarily
had instead of like God, they had what they called grandfather. That's right? They called it was called grandfather.
They have like the sun,
The great grandfather and stuff, and that's who
the elements and that kind of thing. But it was their interpretation of what the Hopi Indian prophecy was, and what he drew on there. It'd be nice to hear from some actual Hopi, indigenous people who could tell us, was this legit or is it just some bullshit somebody made up, or whatever. But I thought it was pretty interesting.
we gotta find us one.
Yeah.
We need to get to the
I
middle
don't
of
know
it.
any Hopis. I know some other.
Hey, but hey, we're in 2020, about to be 2025.
Yeah, almost.
We can just reach out. We can probably find one.
Probably get on Google.
Probably could.
Yeah.
The Wicca will tell you all about it.
Did you know that in Taos, New Mexico, there exists a mysterious sound known as the Taos hum? This low-frequency noise, audible to a select few, has been reported since the early 1990s. Locals describe it as a persistent humming or buzzing, resembling a distant diesel engine. Despite investigations by scientists and various agencies, the source remains elusive. Theories range from industrial disturbances to geological activity. Interestingly, only about 2% of the population can hear it, leading to questions about its true nature. Whether a natural phenomenon or a psychological effect, the Taos hum continues to intrigue and mystify those who hear it. Subscribe for more fascinating facts.
And what state did it say it was in?
New Mexico, Taos. Out there where they dig uranium and stuff, and then there's some pretty good casinos.
Like Roswell and stuff, though, right?
I'm not sure. Roswell's on the north side. If you're going over toward White Sands, toward the missile base, and then you hang a left to go south to El Paso. That's one of the ways you can go to El Paso. You can go through New Mexico that way, but I can't remember where. I've been through Roswell and that, but I don't remember if I went through Taos or not.
See, this is where
I didn't hear any humming though. I was driving in.
This is where we need like a helper that could just look facts up for us when we ask these things. Yeah, like Joe, what's Joe got? He's like, hey, play that video.
Yeah,
that's what we need. Maybe currently hiring.
We need a speed Googler that'll work for coffee, snacks.
Coffee and snacks.
Yeah,
we got snacks.
When I was home in 2016, Alexandria, Virginia, I was abducted by aliens from my bed. They came, they paralyzed me. I woke up around 4 o'clock in the morning. I was in bed by myself. I was laying back and I couldn't move anything. What I did notice is that my body started turning into particles, like when you see a video and they have like the souls are lifting out of the body, but this time my soul and body, I don't know what it was, but it was turning into particles, and like you could see it turning into like see-through and getting out of my body. So I'm like, okay. I close my eyes, I open it up again, and I'm in a dark room and there's a light on top of me. I'm naked at this time. I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my God, and it's not like I'm looking around like I can move my head. No, I'm literally like this, like barely an inch moving around. And when I finally looked down at my feet like this, there was a white guy in a suit with sunglasses by my left foot. He saw that I woke up. He had sunglasses in the dark room. He saw that I woke up. And you know what he did? He took 2 steps back into the dark. So imagine being in a pitch black room and there's only one light right on top of you. I can't move, and I'm like, so I'm like, okay, I fall back asleep. I don't remember what happened. I wake up. And this time when I wake up, there's an alien right there on my left side, right here. He was standing right here. Like, if I'm laying down, he's standing right here. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And I'm like looking around, and there's another alien on my right side. And I'm like, oh my God. So then the alien looks at me, and he leans in, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness. He touches me here. As soon as he touched me, he talked to me telepathically. He was like, don't worry, you've been here many times. Stop freaking out. You know what's happening. And I'm like, I'm still shaking, right? He was like, speak telepathically, speak with your mind. And I'm like, so I'm like, what is he talking about? In my head, I don't know, my head was racing. Guys, it's creepy. Being abducted by aliens is creepy. And like me, I wasn't really into it. Like, I heard stories and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like freaking out. And he was like, speak telepathically. Relax, you've done this many times. So I'm like, okay. Finally, I took his advice, right? And mind you, this is all happening in a couple seconds. In my mind, it's feeling like a couple seconds, right? He's still working. He's standing here, and he's working somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. I can't see. You know what I mean? I can't move my head this time. I just move my eyes. And so I finally got it that I have to speak telepathically. Okay? I don't know. For some reason, I just knew what to do. And I looked at him in his eyes. And he tells me again, relax, you've been here before. And I'm like, oh my goodness, and I'm still freaking out. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what am I doing here? It's like, what's going on? And he goes, relax, you've been here before. Just relax, we're doing our little checkup on you. You know what's going on, just relax. He touches me again. Guys, when he touches me again, I pass out. When I wake up again, just for a quick second, not a quick second, probably like 5 to 10 seconds. I see him taking off his. He had like a suit, but he also had something over his suit. He took it off. He took it off, and right in front of me, he literally took off his coat and he cleaned his hands. I don't know if he had. I think he had gloves out at the moment. He cleaned out his hands, and I saw him went like this. And this was looking at me. And I'm like, okay, like at the moment when I saw his eyes, I was shocked. But and immediately in the same second, I was like, I've been here before. I know exactly what's going on. Like, this is okay. Like, I'm just going to chillax. Like, I'm just going to chillax. Let them do what they have to do. I'm just going to relax and just, I'm going to wake up and this is going to be, all done and over with. Like, obviously I've done this before. Like, let me just relax.
So, do you think that like the word "freaking out" is in a lot of the extraterrestrials?
Yeah.
Talk bank. I mean,
Pretty
really?
wild.
Here's how I see that though. You see all the stories about alien abductions and stuff like that, and I know fun theory is going to be, oh well, they know how we talk, so that's how they talk. But how do you never hear no one say that they communicated with these aliens and they had a different language or couldn't speak English?
Maybe that's why they tell them to communicate.
Or maybe they talk like Yoda.
I don't know. Maybe that's
talk backwards.
Telepathically. I like the one part where she says, I just really wasn't into it.
I think she was into it. It looked like to me.
I don't know. She had her little drawing there and everything. Very detailed. He was by my left foot, and this alien was by my right side. I couldn't see what he was doing down there because I was.
But see, if you watch her though, dude, she's not looking up when she's talking the story.
Yeah.
So what in reading people and stuff, what is it when you're talking to somebody? If they look left, they're telling a lie because they're triggering the left side of their brain, which is the creative side, right? If you're triggering, remember you look right. She didn't really look right. She was just straight on. So that makes me feel rehearsed.
Could be.
A memorized story.
She was kind of. Well, she was in her car,
And I'm like freaking out. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
A little nonchalant about the whole thing, really.
It just didn't trigger anything in it. And even if you talk to anybody that's had like a traumatic experience or something happened to them, if they tell you that story, there's trigger responses in their emotions. You know what I mean? Like if that terrorized you, if this happened to you, I think as you're telling it, you're going to see a form of emotion in that conversation because it's triggering it. You're seeing it. You're revisualizing this in your head. So when it's just straightforward like that and poppy, like I like to call it, I always question those.
Yeah, it's like
those kind of stories, man. I don't see you're not triggering nothing for me. Or maybe she's just told it that many times and she's just super comfortable with it.
She's been there before.
She's been there before. And she stops freaking out.
Yeah. I just chillaxed and went with it. For the 100th time,
I was getting it. Well,
Bob seemed a little evil with that wink at the end. I've been told that when something winks at you like that, a lot of it could be evil.
Well, I don't know if it's actually the same one, but I know I had seen that that video of the testimony by the alien being that it was saying that it was actually from the future and it was a time traveler because that's what we evolved to.
Yeah.
After the nuclear wars and different things, that's the new bodies that we. That's the next step of evolution.
That was some really old footage. If it was legit,
It looked grainy. It looked like something that's filmed maybe in the 60s, 70s.
yeah, Skinny Bob.
I'll find it and send it to you. Too, that other one. It looked about the same, quality wise and stuff like that. But
we'd like to get some people call in that's worked at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base or Area 51 that can corroborate, did they really have bodies? Did they really have, wrecked spaceships?
yeah, I don't think they can say that. They're not allowed to.
I don't know. There may be a video about that.
Treasure hunters Peter Lindbergh and Dennis Asberg were exploring the Baltic Sea when an unusual image appeared on the sonar. A nearly 200-foot cylindrical object. They dove down 300 feet to witness the stunning discovery firsthand in the frigid depths of the Baltic Sea.
And I look at the monitor also and I say, oh, what the heck, this is something for sure. But what is it? I mean, hey guys, have you seen anything like that before? And we begin to measure it and look at it in different angles and so on. And okay, it's 60 meters in diameter. It's not a small thing. And it's for sure something.
In the frigid depths of the Baltic Sea, the two treasure hunters tried to determine what the large and mysterious object was.
An anomaly in the Baltic Sea that some divers discovered in, I believe, 2011, where it actually looks like a UFO has crashed and a UFO-shaped object has landed in the Baltic Sea. It looked like it had been there for a while. There was tracks supposedly in the sea where it appeared to have crashed and slid into place.
The enormous, unidentified object measures more than 200 feet in diameter, 26 feet in height, and is covered in strange markings. The ocean floor nearby showed evidence of 1,600 feet of churned-up track. Was this a crashed alien spacecraft?
The Baltic Sea anomaly, Sweden in 2011. Sonar images taken by a Swedish treasure hunting team revealed a strange disc-like shape on the floor of the Baltic Sea. Some enthusiasts speculated it could be a USO, but further investigations suggested it was likely a natural geological formation.
Some people have claimed it's natural. However, they did find a triangular shape on the side of it with a circle in the middle that could have been some type of sign or door at one point.
Well,
Thinking they crash landed the Millennium Falcon up there in the Baltic Sea. Or they could have been dragging it along for some water crash scene for a Star Wars movie, and then it broke, and then it sunk, and they drug it along for a while on the bottom, then it broke off, and they just left it there. Or it's a crashed UFO just sitting down there. Or a rock that looks like it. Definitely weird looking. It didn't look like it was just a regular rock with all the little weird angles and stuff.
Yeah.
The guy with the worms in his brain is about to start exposing some crazy things about the medical industry. And we're already starting to see it because they want to silence Dr. Barbara for what she said after the election. Listen to this next clip carefully.
They want us distracted and divided while they profit off of our pain. The way things are set up is that the hospital needs to make money. The problem there is that if you figure out a way to help patients heal, and that way doesn't include a pill or surgery, then the hospital and the doctor are in big trouble. Doesn't this sound familiar? Dr. Sebi was talking about a natural healer that pharmacies couldn't profit on before he passed away.
They don't care about us. They bring us information that, oh God, that's why the rest of the world laughs at us. Because they know that we have both eyes closed. Moringa has 23 times the iron in spinach, 7 times the calcium in milk. Well, I stopped drinking milk 42 years ago, and I could fall on my knees. 11 times vitamin A, that you find in carrots.
The moringa leaf is the single most nutrient-dense plant in the entire world. If you aren't aware, vitamin and nutrient deficiency is the #1 cause of health issues in America. I wonder why with all the GMO and processed food out here. So, the top signs that you have a deficiency are poor sleep, fatigue, low energy, irritability, and stress. The most underrated symptom is joint pain. What if these aren't symptoms of aging, but signs that your body has been lacking the nutrients it needs for years? 1 dose of moringa has 30 times more nutrient content than all the fruits and vegetables you're supposed to eat in a day. Imagine the difference this could make for your health if you took it consistently. But before you go out and look for moringa, there is one thing you need to know. Moringa is very rare and can only be found in the Himalayan mountains. To ensure you're getting pure moringa, it must be third-party tested in the USA. Rosabella moringa is the only one I have found to pass this test, because you can only get moringa from small companies. If you read the thousands of reviews, you will see why. Fortunately, they just did their Christmas restock. You can get yourself a 3-month supply of moringa with the cost of 1. If you can see the orange icon right there, it means they are still in stock. This will not last.
Big pharma don't like you to use natural things to heal yourself.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why they're. I mean, just like the weed thing. You know, look at what it does for people in certain situations, and they don't want that. If people can cure stuff off natural things and stuff like that, then it ain't no spending no billions upon billions of dollars in medication.
Well, there was a little child that had seizures real bad, and they were taking marijuana, and they were somehow they could centrifuge it. They took the THC out of it, so the kid wasn't going to get high or nothing, but it would knock out the seizures. This kid was having really bad seizures, and they had all different medications, and they had to go to Colorado or somewhere because the doctor wouldn't prescribe it, whatever. In their state, it was illegal, so they took the child out there, and
that explains the difference.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't they legalize something like that for seizures and stuff? It's the only thing that would work. I'm like,
because they can't keep pumping us with pills.
It wasn't like they were giving
making that money. Did you? Just think about it, man. You go to your doctor and you talk like that. You tell them you got an issue going on or something. Are you like, got this problem? What's their first answer? Oh, well, we're going to try with this medication real quick. And I think instead of, well, let's research it and find what's best for you.
They'll either put you on.
They want to sell you the pills,
or they'll send you to a specialist, and then they'll put you on some kind of medication.
All the same.
Yeah.
Runs the world.
I think we need to get this medicine needs to go beyond just pharmaceuticals. They need to look at the whole big picture.
Well, look in other countries. They're not, diabetes, just all these different things, cancer. They're not as overrun as they are here. I mean, I know we have more people, but it seems like, especially like with cancer and stuff like that, like you're telling me we haven't really improved, like in this long a time, or is it better for me to keep you on chemo and getting those nice chemo treatments? Oh, and here's your anti-sick pills. Oh, this will stop the nausea from the chemo treatment. Oh, this will bring your stamina back up. This will, help fatigue. So now you're on chemo and 19 different pills that you're paying $300, $400, $500 a month for. In some cases with chemo, thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah.
They want you to keep rolling with that. They need that.
How did ancient Egyptians move those blocks to be able to construct that pyramid?
In some of the later pyramids, when some of the knowledge was lost, they used the idea of engineering knowledge of leverage and levers and cranes and so on and so forth, as has been surmised by many of your archaeologists. However, the oldest ones were done with a mix of technologies, including the idea of some levitation through sonic means, acoustic means, some of the idea also of softening the rock and pushing them into place and letting them re-harden again, almost like a casting, and some of the idea of certain kinds of electromagnetic technologies, but that came much earlier and was eventually lost.
No, we know who helped with the pyramids. It was the Anunnakis.
That was the Shara guy who talks channels the aliens. So he got some ideas
Using
there.
the alien technology to build the pyramid.
I've been out digging fossils where I've seen sandstone. Like you'd be out in the desert in the middle of summer, and you're like, you hit ice. You're like, this is what? It's like you're on the side of this mountain and you dig the sandstone out, and they're like, oh, gotta stop digging here, and then you gotta wait another day for it to dry out because the rock will be just like mush, like mud, and that ice and everything falls out, and then you chisel it open, and there'll be fish and everything in there. But the one thing I noticed when you dig through the layers of rock, you really don't find anything till you get right below a volcanic ash layer. It's like Yellowstone or something popped off in the ash. You'll find like a big fish chasing a little fish, like he's like frozen time under this ash layer. And that's where you find all the fish and stuff. And then you go down below it and you get back into just sandstone and you get nothing. But I've seen that stone where it's just like mush. It's like ice and it's wet and everything. And then you let it dry out a day and you can chisel it with a chisel. It hardens back up. So I think his one theory is plausible. You will be able to put those blocks in your salt, harden back up.
There's a secret government with its own Air Force, its own Navy, that's above the law and free from the law itself. The CIA director says, yeah, I know this is real. Why is it this level of secrecy? Who's keeping it secret? How are they doing this? How do I take on a group that have technologies that can do circles around the B-2 stealth? The worst treasonous acts that have ever happened to any country that falls is from within. The president, the director of the CIA, they had all been pushed aside and denied access. What's behind the secrecy? So let's say you have something that is fit on a little table this big, and it's pulling energy out of what's called the quantum vacuum, which was proven to exist back in the 50s. If you had a coffee mug, the amount of space in that coffee mug has enough potential power to boil off all the oceans of the world. That was mastered decades ago. That means that every home, business, car, manufacturing, village in Africa that would generate all the energy they need for all the needs that we have for a modern civilization. If that technology were to be disclosed, it's $1 quadrillion in proven assets, oil, gas, coal, that are obsolete. That's what they're protecting.
It's like the deep state, that unofficial government agency. One wing of the government we're not supposed to know about, like Men in Black.
But they're protecting it for what? Wouldn't putting it out there and profiting off it be better?
You think?
A lot of it don't make sense to me.
Me either.
In Haxton, I live in Kirksville, Missouri. I'm the owner of the most haunted object in the world, known as the Dybbuk box. I feel that this object is so dangerous, I've kept it buried and away from people for 5 full years. The Dybbuk box was created by a Holocaust survivor as a way to deal with her grief and loss from the war. I'm digging this box up so that I can take it to Zach Bagans and bring back the original owner, Kevin Manis, who feels that the box may have been contributing to his mother's death. Between the three of us, we might be able to come to some answers and resolution about this haunted object.
Oh my God. Please tell me that's a replica. Is this the Dybbuk box?
This is today the most haunted item in the world. It's the Dybbuk box.
Why am I already shaking? Please have a seat.
It's been removed from Missouri in 12 years since it arrived.
This is known as not only one of the most iconic haunted items in the world, but it's also known to be one of the most deadly.
I was kind of apprehensive bringing it here. It's not been removed, it's not been seen, it's not been really out like this.
Where do you keep it at home?
It actually, it stays in the state of Missouri in a military box and buried. So it is completely protected.
Where is it buried?
I own 26 acres of land.
It's buried in a
rural
secret
area.
spot on that land.
So I always know where it's at, but I don't disturb it.
You literally unburied it like you were on Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Brought it out.
And digging this thing out. This box is used to contain evil spirits.
Correct. We don't know whether it's one or two or multiple, but we know at least there is a Dybbuk.
Can you define what a Dybbuk is?
In the Jewish faith, it's a spirit that has unfinished business. And so it cannot have peace. So it attaches, it cleaves.
Possesses.
It possesses a person to finish out whatever it didn't finish. So you have something living through you to finish its life.
Yeah, I've seen, there's one story about a Dybbuk box. This guy bought it from a yard sale and had taken it home, and it was the same thing. Messed with his house, he couldn't get rid of it. He tried to throw it away, but then it would come back. And,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, he eventually had turned it over to, I think, Ed and Lorraine Bourne Foundation. Turned it over to them. Dude just totally messing up his house. Stuff like that. You could actually go online and order Dybbuk boxes and buy them.
Like, knockoff.
I saw one. I think it was a YouTube video where this guy bought one, and that's the thing. You don't know if it was set up or fake, but he opened it up. I mean, because they're sealed with candle wax, you got to cut the seal to get in. And he did some things, and he said things were happening in his house, and he didn't feel safe, so he eventually had got rid of the Dybbuk box. But maybe we should try to buy one, and we'll open it live.
Yeah, good. Then it would be maybe we should do it outside. Well, if you let it loose, it ain't in your house or my house or whatever. It'd be in a
Then we would have.
Let's have a haunted
then we would
studio.
have for sure proof that we knew was real.
There you go. Yeah.
So we would see it.
Oh, I'm starting to experience some activity around here. Must have been that damn box we cracked open.
This North Carolina resident captured a picture of a demon and didn't even know it. The following picture and story I'm going to share with you guys comes out of Marion, North Carolina. The guy who submitted this to me said this picture actually came from his friend's mom, and it's something that happened to them one night while they were just sat home watching TV. She and her husband are at home in the den watching TV like they do every other night. They're on their sectional couch. Her husband's on one end while she's on the other, and all the lights are off except for the TV. He described it that the husband was actually sitting more just directly in front of the TV, staring straight at it, while his wife was on the opposite side, kind of facing the dining room. And it was getting late, and she went to pick up her phone just to see what time it was. The phone just randomly snapped that picture. She didn't really think much of it at the time, that is until she went to bed, and then she just got a feeling come over her that she needed to look at that picture to see what it was, if anything at all. And I'll go ahead and let you know, this is pretty creepy, but check it out. This right here is what she captured when she looked at her phone. They have no explanation at all what this thing is. It wasn't a person, no one else was home, but when her phone randomly snapped that picture, this is what she caught. They believe, and I agree with them, that this is something demonic. If you've ever seen anything like this, let me know in the comments. If you have any kind of pictures, stories, or videos, I'd love to see them. You guys have a great day. God bless.
It definitely looked like a face and a shoulder, didn't it?
Pretty wild. Usually if my phone takes a picture, it's like the inside of my pocket.
Never catch a demon in there.
Nothing. No. Just
Wow.
random picture of the inside of the pocket or something, or the car, the backseat of the car or something.
Definitely wild. Definitely wild.
We were supposed to go a little longer today, but our guest, something happened with the guest. We're not sure yet, so we'll have them on again.
Reline that up. It'll be a fun show too. It's about demon possessions and stuff. We were going to dive into that,
Exorcism.
and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully we can get that lined up real soon.
Absolutely.
And come out. What we got going on? Anything coming up? Just good holidays.
We got been trying to get with the Dog Man guy, and he would be willing to come here or have us go to him live. And he said he don't do podcasts with the computer. He's not real computer savvy, so I'd be absolutely he could come here. We could go to his place, whatever.
But it's time he would be on the show though.
Yeah. But he said he's about 75 podcasts behind right now. So
You said that's the guy too that the documentary's about. That he was the ex-sheriff.
yeah, retired sheriff.
He retired so he could, because he had an encounter in it.
Oh yeah. And
Kind of totally stoked him in. He kind of retired. Now he just does constant work on this.
He's been
Land Between the Lakes.
He's been researching cases in Land Between the Lakes area for over 36 years of people just getting. They found people mutilated and torn to pieces. Every one of them, the cause of death is unknown animal encounters, but they don't know what it was, but it has to be something pretty strong to do what it did. He's got a couple books, and there's a movie coming out next spring, so I hope try to have him on. There's another place down by Dale Hollow Lake, down by Kentucky-Tennessee border, that they're having some dogman activity down there. So if we go on one of these investigations, there's a lot of protocols we got to follow.
Well, Dale Hollow Lake's not that far from here.
No, they're just he's one of the guys that's not real big on anything electronics. Like I don't even know if he'll even allow a cell phone or anything. Like he goes out with a kerosene lantern because that's something that they're used to smelling and seeing. I've had other Bigfoot researchers also tell me that they feel like they can see infrared light, they can sense equipment. That's why you don't see a lot of them on trail cams and stuff. They can detect. Or they can also detect your intentions. If you're, just out there want to meet them and you kind of have an open mind and everything. But
I don't think the dog man's going to invite you in to meet.
No, every encounter I've heard about dog
Vicious,
man has
vicious.
been very terrifying. Like running alongside the car and reaching in the car trying to claw you, and I mean that kind of attack. Or these people barely escape with their lives.
Get your dinner.
And a lot of Bigfoot encounters and Dogman both, I think the creature allowed them to leave. Because as fast as these things move, from all the people that have had it come after them said, it let me leave. It let me go. Because it really wanted to get me, I wouldn't be here. And there's a lot of people go missing, especially in national parks and whatnot. A lot of places where you don't do a lot of hunting, big areas, people go missing every day.
I love talking about Dogman.
Absolutely. We're going to have to go on a Dogman expedition. We went out looking for him last year, did a camp out, but really nothing too eventful. We did have a few weird things going on. But
Got to go to that north side.
Yeah, we went to the east side, so we'll have to go back to the north side this time. Or if we can meet up with Mr. Martin, he does have locations. He's actually got GPS coordinates that he said he gave our other friend Bruce some coordinates, and so whenever we get the time and everybody can go.
But that's the thing too, though, that I guess I'm curious about. So
why would it be in the same spot again?
No, not just that,
all over,
because that kind of falls into our portal theories in different dimensions, if those are entry points. But
does the portal stay in the same place and open up every time, or do they open up here and there?
But it's probably like I'd say it's a little bit multiple locations, but in this spot.
I've been in houses
like
where
over here
weird
it's going to
stuff
always
on a
land right
wall.
there. Over here it's always going to land in that spot. It's like a triangulation thing.
Could be
Like a grid.
I think it's just wherever.
But if he's seen these dogmen and dogmen essentially eat people and rip them apart, why does it seem like people are so willing to? Yeah, I'll show you where they're at. You want to go out there? Wouldn't you want to be like, you don't want to go out there because people die from these things.
Yeah, what makes a dog man attack? And they don't eat them. It's not like they're dragging the people off and all you find is a couple bones left. They kill them and leave them. It's not like it's almost like something's killing.
So I
them
guess what I'm saying is why
killing
are they
for
so,
sport.
why does it get to where it's so willing to give you this location? Why it's okay with it?
I don't know. Maybe he can answer that. You can talk to him.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Hope everybody has a good week this week.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll hope to hear from you next week, and y'all have a good week. Come on.